Hey, so this week we're talking about marginalised groups within feminism and intersectionality. I tend to have quite a lot to say about this issue because not only am I not white, not straight, um, my mum is a disabled feminist, and I've always just been generally aware of intersectionalities even before I knew what the word meant. I personally think, as a feminist, that you can't fight for one thing, e.g., fight against patriarchy, without also considering all of the different power plays and privileges that people might have within the movement. Um, I've got my fair share of privileges as well. Relatively middle class. I'm cisgender. People tend to assume I'm straight. I have sort of a light skinned privilege as well, and I'm able bodied. But the thing I can't stress more is that having privileges does not make you a bad person, right? You can't help being white or straight, right? Just the same as someone else can't help being black or a lesbian. So it's okay to have these privileges, but what's not okay is to not acknowledge them and to ignore how they help you get on in life and not recognizing other people's marginalizations. Um, what's useful if you do have privileges is to be an ally to those who do not. Us feminists, we have to help each other, and there are so many marginalized groups that are so often ignored. Um, and with a bit of increased awareness, a bit of support in numbers, these movements can be successful. For example, the disability rights movement at the moment needs allies, especially in the UK, where the government seem to have been actively targeting disabled people with their cuts. There's this company that called Atos that the government have ordered, who have no medical background at all. Have they've gone around and are assessing people and declaring whether or not they're fit to work, and countless people who previously, where their doctor have said they're not fit for work, Atos have come along and said they are. And so people are having their cars taken away from them. They're having their disability living allowance taken away from them. And it's ruining people's lives. People have committed suicide over losing the disability living allowance. Yet this is allowed to continue because there is no awareness. Um, and that is where we need allies to come in. And if you are able-bodied, you can be really helpful to the movement. You can go to more protests, you can do campaigning, and you can raise awareness and really do what you can. Saying that, it's not actually that easy to be an ally, because a lot of people, whilst they have these privileges, it's very difficult to keep them in check. And what happens a lot is when people say, okay, I'm going to be an ally to this group, I'm going to support them, do what I can, often the allies' voices will overpower the marginalised group. And what's important is to try not to do that, and to just really be a platform for their voice to get out. Um, another tip for being a good ally is to be open to criticism and anger, even, because as a privileged person, you've probably benefited in some way from their marginalisation, whether you know it or not, or you're just being blissfully unaware of their troubles. And, that makes people rightfully angry, and that's not necessarily your fault, but you have to understand why they might not be so welcome to you saying, hey, I'm here, I can help now. So, and it's because it's not about you, it's about them, and they have to accept your help. There are lots of movements out there that do need allies. I've spoken about disability rights, LGBTQAI, anti-racism, for example. But bear in mind that me saying that a movement needs allies is not the same as me saying that a movement is weak. It's They might need allies because there's low awareness, because marginalisation, as I've said, makes voices quieter. Now, unfortunately, feminism is renowned for being incredibly exclusive, very white, middle class, straight, cis, able bodied. But I think we can change that. We can move on from that. It's in our history, but we can learn from it and we can improve from it. What we need to do is to listen harder to the voices of marginalised people, make an active effort not to overshadow them. Yeah, we also need to make an effort not to generalize or compartmentalize, because all of these different intersections are feminist issues. Race is a feminist issue, class is a feminist issue, and sexuality, etc. Because misogyny and patriarchy assert themselves in all of these different social issues and actually are very different in all of them. You know, the one brand of misogyny that is faced by a straight woman is completely different to what a queer woman would have to put up with. And everyone has all these interlocking privileges and disprivileges, which makes everyone's experience of misogyny and sexism completely different. And if you want to fight against sexism and patriarchy, you can't ignore that. It's impossible. You'll get nowhere. People can utilize their privileges and disprivileges, I think, to fight back. And in my opinion, if you can, you should. I want to see more people striving to be good allies, and I want to see more people paying attention to intersectionality. Because feminism isn't about just one issue of sexism, it's about all of them, and how patriarchy is just everywhere. Um, I want to know if anyone has any good tips on how to be a good ally, or if anyone disagrees with something I've said. Drop me a comment below, or on Facebook, tweet us, get in touch on our shiny new Tumblr. There are lots of ways to get in touch with us. I look forward to hearing from you all. Bye!